welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'll be showing you how I organize my stamped images and die cut images. So I keep them in an old binder, and I could put a cover on here, and maybe I'll do that sometime. Actually, it looks like it may be ripping. These are all binders that we've had in storage, so I can just put it in a different one if I need to. And all I did is buy some tab dividers, and this is just like an 8.5 times 11 size that you could keep them in. And I like to do stamped images and then cut a bunch of them out, whether I'm using dies or my scan and cut. So you could use them for either things, or maybe if you have a Cricut machine and you might want to cut out little die cuts. Back in the day, you used to get die cuts because people didn't have the machines, and that's why we call them die cuts. They were cut by big steel dies, and then you would go to Joann's or wherever. I know Creative Memories used to sell some, and then you would fill them up. So I did that originally, and then I started doing my stamped images this way, because sometimes I would stamp a lot, and maybe you were using a machine like the Scan and Cut, you want to do a lot and cut them all out at once, or maybe you're using regular dies on your die cut machine, and maybe you're doing a lot of cards, and so you make a lot so that you don't run out, but then you have extras. So this is what I do for extra if I'm going to do it for projects ahead of time. So what I did is I used, you could get these different pockets for different sizes, and this is the size I use a lot of, especially for stamped images. And these are the same ones you get for trading cards or for, we use these sometimes for stickers too, I think. But trading cards, baseball cards, whatever you wanted to call them, that's how they usually sell them. But the only problem with that I found, because some of my stamped images are very small, like, let me find Elizabeth Craft Designs. They're little animals that you piece, so little, and then these would fall out, and then that didn't help. So what I found, and I found these on Amazon, you may be able to find them other places, is they're still the collectible ones, but they have this little pocket cover. So that way they can't fall out. And so then I divided them with my dividers. So I put die cuts, at least that's what I'm calling them. They're not the actual dies that you're using to cut, but what you've already cut out. And some of these, I believe these are ones I cut with my scan and cut. I think they're ice cream cones. I didn't know what they were, so I couldn't put it. Sometimes I like to do a lot of words because I don't know how I'm going to be using them. It could be stamped words that you use. It could be, I know it's scan and cut, and I think the Cricut does this where you can print with it, and then, or you don't really print with the scan and cut, but you can use a marker to make the words, or print it on a machine, on a printer, and then cut it out. So however you do it, but you can save your words so you have sentiments, whether you're using them for cards or whether you're using them for scrapbooking. So that's what I put in here. And then I did by category as the stamp company. So this is Dare to Be Artsy. And I just used my Brother P-Touch machine or whatever labeler you have. And I put the name of the stamp company and what stamp set it was. So that way, if I want to make more, I'll know where it came from. Or maybe I know I want to use some stamp sets for some cards or scrapbooks. In this case, I made them for scrapbooking because I'm trying to use my stamps for scrapbooking also. And we went to Maine for one of our previous vacations, so I thought these would be good for our nautical images. Really important to have these little covers. They don't fall out for the Elizabeth Craft Designs because you put these together and they make it animal. And these are just little bits that I had left over because sometimes you had to cut out more than one color. So I was making dogs, and so I had some dog tags left, and it looks like some legs and noses left. So I have a few odd and ends for next time. Here's some feet for the lion and tiger. For some reason I had extra feet left over. So sometimes I do them in white, and then you can color them with dye. I use my distress ink to color them sometimes. Then we have my Hello Bluebird. I don't know if you can see, I'll put my hand back here. So some pages you can get that come in these 4 pockets, and I don't know what these were originally intended for, but It's an 8.5 by 11. I'm trying to see if this says what size that is. It doesn't, so I'm not sure, but obviously it's an 8.5 times 11 half, so 5.5 by 4 1/4 pockets, which would be the exact size you need for a card. So you can put your card covers in here. So this one I'm using for Hello Bluebird vertical banner, which is also on this page. It has some small parts that have flowers, but it also had the banners, which won't fit in the little ones. And then you can see I cut out this. I think I cut with my skin and cut, so I had a lot of extras cut out. This was when I was making several different cards, so I had some already colored. And I'm going to show you an idea I had for that. And then these are the ones I have a lot of, was the Hello Bluebird and Lawn Fawn. Now I got this idea, and with those pockets that just have the 4, this works great. I just cut out my Copic paper so that I can make it the size to go in here, and that way I can get several stamped images, and then I color them with different colors. So that way when I go to use this particular stamp or that type of enamel, or an enamel that might be the same kind of colors, I can look and see what Copic colors I use, so I know what colors I need to get that same look, and have some ideas. And then I have some extra here that I can try some other colors. I might try some that's a little bit more white. I actually was going to do some more, but I ran out of Copic friendly paper, so I'm going to have to order some more. But this is a great idea. I got this idea from, I can't remember the lady who I watched, one of the card makers I like to watch. She put a picture on, I think, Facebook of the reindeer from, I think it was Hello Bluebird. She did the reindeer, and she did several different reindeers, different colors like this. And then Nicole Spohr, who's another card maker I like to watch, did some pretty much the same way she did. And she did the foxes. So I didn't actually have any of the same color combination she had, but I used that as an idea, and then just look through my Copic colors to see what colors that I wanted to do. But whatever you do for your coloring, you could do the same thing. If you like to do watercolor, I know a lot of people like using Distress ink for watercolor, and you could swatch out different foxes or whatever animal you might be able to color, different like bears or rabbits you can do. You can see I have lots left over of the ocean animals I've used. And I will show you, I believe these pockets I got on Amazon. Now my 4-pocket page here does not have, it just slides in and out, but these aren't going to really get lost or slide around so much. It's the really small stuff you want to keep these pockets on. And I will try to get this over here. Here it is. These I ordered from Amazon, I believe. I think there's some office places that might carry it so you can type it in. But it's called 9-pocket storage page with flap. Of course, the other one's called 4-pocket page. So you can get different ways. I don't know. There may be some that's a 2. Actually, I think there is a 2 because I have some further back here. But those you can use any from the office store. It wouldn't need to have the flap. But when you're getting with these small images, with these 9-pocket, you probably want to get the ones that say with flap. So if you type in on Google or whatever search you're doing, just type in with flap and it'll come up. But I got these, I believe, from Amazon. So just to let you know, those are out there. So, because the first time I started putting these out, and they all fell out. No matter which way you try to put your book, they're going to fall. Okay, it's Mama Elf, and there's some interactive. Sometimes these have more in them or less, depending if I've used them recently. And you could obviously add more. And then Newton's Nook. I love coloring the... So if you want to color ahead of time, some people like to sit in front of the TV and do a lot of coloring. Then you can save them for when you're going to make cards later. Here's some I cut out of soda cans, some flowers. So you could keep different mixed media in here. Maybe you want to make cards with it. Or I'm thinking scrapbooking, like the ice cream I had in there I might use for scrapbooking. You can get bigger pages. So these are a 2-pocket page. So you can see I can put a scene here. You can put a whole card base there. whatever. If you do die cuts for, forget what they call those, but the cutouts like your scan and cut or your file cut files. Use cut files for your scrapbooking. Maybe you could put those in here as long as they're not bigger than 8.5 times 11. I will be doing a bigger notebook, and then this is just extra I had. In fact, I had these in the garage sale because I have a lot of teaching supplies, and I'm like, well, I don't need to buy any. I'll just go look and see if I got some in the garage sale. So I did. So I didn't even have to buy those. And then back here, I just had, these are just my labels that I'm putting in. So I think this is a good way that you can do your stamped images ahead of time or make a bunch, and then if you don't use them all, you have somewhere to put them. I did used to put them in the pockets with my stamps, but that was really messy, and then you never knew what you already had done or not. This is a lot easier, and you can make things way ahead of time, have it ready. So if let's say I wanted to do some Christmas cards, I could look through here and go, oh, I got some reindeer already ready to go. I'm not doing Christmas right now. I want a birthday card. Okay, well, these could make a nice birthday card or a, I don't know, baby card. I teach preschool, so baby cards sometimes work for my little friends too. That's why I have a lot of little kid images in here. So you can just look through and you get your ideas of how to color. I used some of these stamped images. The bees I used on a recent one for Disney's photos with Winnie the Pooh. So you could use these for cards. You can use them for scrapbooking. Maybe you do a lot of flowers. I've used them all. I did have a whole bunch of hibiscus, but you can see I've used them all. So you can make flowers ahead of time for your scrapbooking or your cards. So I just thought this idea might be helpful for those of you that I've got all these extra stamped images and I don't want to throw them away, but I don't want to just throw them in a bin and then I don't know what I have. So I thought this was a great way to organize. So I just want to share this with you, and you really don't need too many different type of supplies. So I hope you found this helpful. If so, please give this a like, and I'll link some more organizing videos at the end of this one. And also I do have a video on how I swatched out the wool, so I'll also link that at the end of the video. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.